Vrindaya Tulsidevaya Priya Kesavasacha Krishna Bhakti Praidevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulsidevaya Priya Kesavasacha Krishna Bhakti Praidevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulsidevaya Priya Kesavasacha Krishna Bhakti Praidevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Shrimati Tulsidevi ki jai. Or just like trees become fulfilled the desires of one, and they're full of compassion for the fallen condition.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Vartajagacharya Shrotarjata Shri Shrimad Srila Abhay Chanaran Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Shri Thakur Haridas Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Devi Ki Jai Yamunamayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Rani Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Samsthapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Go Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga Jai Srila Prabhupada Class goes until what time? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Krishne swadhamopagate Dhanamajnanadibhis saha Kalau nashtadrishamesha Puranarko dhunoditaha. This is Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 75, texts 4 through 7. Please repeat. You have it on the board. Okay. Bhimo Mahanasadhyaksho Dhanadhyaksha Suyodhanaham Sahadevastu Pujayam Nakulo Dravya Sadhane Guru Shushrushane Jishnuho Krishna Padavane Jane Pariveshane Drupadajja Karnodane Mahamanaha. You've got it? Yayodhano vikarnascha Hardikyo viduradaryaha Bahi kaputra bhuryadya Yecha santardanadayaham Nirupita mahayajne Nana kanamasute tada Pravartante smarajendra Rajñah priyachakirshavaham. I think I'm going to save time and just skip the responsive chanting. Let's just do the word for word. Bhimaham, Bhima, Mahanasa of the kitchen, Adhyakshaham, the supervisor, Dhana of the treasury, Adhyakshaham, the supervisor, Suyodhanaham, Suyodhana. That means Duryodhana. He was originally named Suyodhana. Nobody would name their child Duryodhana. It means a good fighter, but because of his dastardly character, people eventually started calling him Duryodhana, and the name has stuck. Sahadevaham, Sahadeva, to, and Pujayam, in worshipping guests as they arrived. Nakulaha, Nakula, Dravya, needed items, Sadhane, in procuring, Guru, of respectable elders, Shushrushane, in serving, Jishnuhum, Arjuna, Krishnaham, Krishna, Pada, feet, Avanejane, in washing, Pariveshane, in distributing food, Drupadaja, the daughter of Drupada, Draupadi, Karna, Dane, in giving gifts, Mahamanaha, magnanimous, Yuyodhanaha, Vikarnahacha, Yuyodhana and Vikarna, Hardikyaha, Viduradrayaha, Hardikya, that's Kritavarma, Vidura and others. Bahlika Putraha, the sons of Bahlika Raja, Bhun Adyaha, headed by Bhurishrava, Ye, who, Cha, and Santardana, Adayaham, Santardana, and so on. Nirupitaha, engaged. Maha, vast. Yajñe, at the sacrifice. Nana, various. Karamasu, in duties. Te, they. Tada, at that time. Pravartate sma, carried on. Raja Indra, O best of kings. Parikshit. Rajñaha, of the king. Yudhishthira. Priya, gratification. Chikirshavaha, wishing to do. Translation and no purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder and Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, savior of the modern world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhima supervised the kitchen. Duryodhana looked after the treasury, while Sahadev respectfully greeted the arriving guests. Nakula procured needed items. Arjuna attended the respectable elders, and Krishna washed everyone's feet, while Draupadi served food, and generous Karna gave out the gifts. Many others, such as Yuyadhana, Vikarna, Hardikya, Vidura, Bhurishrava, and other sons of Bahlika, and Santardana, similarly volunteered for various duties during the elaborate sacrifice. They did so because of their eagerness to please Maharaj Yudhishthira, O best of kings. Just a note here before we continue, there is no mention, well, Priya Chikirshava, I suppose that indicates that they did this of their own volition because they wanted to please Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yeah, okay, good. Sridhar Swami comments on this verse, Pujayam sammanane dravya sadhane nana vastu sampadane. In other words, he's just glossing the terms here. The word pujayam means receiving guests respectfully, sammanane. Dravya sadhane means procuring necessary things that were needed, nana vastu sampadane. Interesting choice of words here. Sadhana means to make something siddha. The root is siddh. So, siddhi. It's like riddhi siddhi, we say. So, he was procuring, making sure the thing happened. Dravya sadhane. Nana vastu sampadane. What do we think of when we hear the word sampadana? Huh? Property? Publishing, yeah. I'm a publisher, so all right. But actually it means just making sure those things happened also. So sadhana and sampadana here, in this context, they kind of mean the same thing. It's an example of how in Sanskrit words have different meanings and they can work, because when you have an unbroken history of at least 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years of usage, words take on a great deal of meaning. And there's a whole range of connotations associated with any given word in Sanskrit language, and one has to choose from which of those usages it fits the context. So this is why we're all indebted to Sridhar Swami, because that's what he does. That's what any commentary does. What is the verse? There's a verse for this. I forget now, but to define each word, to break up each word, because in Sanskrit you have compound words, like in German. Anybody knows German, you know this. And you have word divisions that sometimes look a little funny, santi, and then you have the meaning of the sentence, the meaning of the compound, and the settling of any doubts that may arise. Pada, what is that? Huh? Okay, that works. It's not. No. Akshepeshu samadhanam, the word is used. Akshepeshu samadhanam, to resolve any doubts that may arise. These are the 5, Vyakhyanam Panchalakshanam. These are the 5 purposes served by a commentary. So Sridhar Swami is doing that for us here. And many times we see in these commentaries, just the word meaning is given because it's so rich language. It can mean any number of things. All right, that's text number 4. And for text number 5 and 6, Gurunam Shushrushane Chandana Lepanadao. In service to the Gurus, Gurunam Sushushne, that means offering sandal paste and so on. Chandana Alepana Adi. Shushrushu. What does it mean to be shushrushu? Good. Anything else? Shushrushu. Hindi mein iska matlab kya hai? Shushrushu. Sometimes we use the word sarcastically in Hindi. Shushrushu means chamshi ban gaya. Yeah. Shushrushu actually means you're eager to hear. But if a person is eager to hear, then he has to be eager to serve. Therefore, by extension, shushrushu also means somebody who's eager to serve. And in Hindi, we call these people spoons. I don't know why they chose that word, but somebody's spoon means what do we say in English? Bootlicking, right? Trying to obsequious behavior. So this is shushrushu. So Gurunam Shushrushane, in rendering eager service to the gurus, the elders in general, parents and other rishis, etc. Chandana Lepana. We have this offering sandal paste, offering garlands. Here when we sat down, he brought me a garland. This is Guru Shushrushu. All right, that's all that's said about that. And Sridhar Swami says with regard to text 7, Nirupita niyuktaha santo nana karnamasu pravartante esma. The word nirupita means engaged, niyuktaha. They were all busy in various activities. That's all he has to say. Brihad Vaishnava Toshni of Sanatan Goswami, he describes 4 verses, these 4 verses, 4 through 7, describe their various services. 2 verses describe the services of the main people. And you notice they were all adhyakshas, supervisors. Because kshatriya, he can hardly take a lesser position, isn't it? Ishvara bhava, he has Ishvara bhava, and he has a great deal of pride. Generally, these are kshatriya symptoms. So such a person just has to be in charge, period. He can't be happy unless he's in charge. So you have to give him a position of management. This is part of the paradigm given in Panchatantra and Hitopadesh and other Niti Shastras. How do you pacify a person of this nature? There are 4 things you do. What are they? Yeah. Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda. First of all, Sama means you offer him praise, like Sama Veda is all praise. You praised a person, that's how you control a kshatriya. They themselves like to think they're control, so you just humor them. They let them think they're in control. Fine. It's like they had some book many years ago, How to Manage Your 1-Minute Manager. You ever saw that? A famous book in Stephen Covey circles. So, this is Sama. And then if that doesn't work, then you actually give them dravyas, you give them gifts, dana, you give them in charity, and they feel indebted. Then If that doesn't work, Bheda, you try to break up his, his alliances, try to decrease his power. And finally, if nothing else works, what do you have to do? Danda, you beat him, or military force. All right, so main people are in charge. Some were engaged as heads of departments, while others were engaged individually to do certain tasks according to their skill and their special desires. Thus, each is described through the assignment. Each person is described through the assignment of his or her service. Arjuna was in charge of serving the elders or the devotees, satam, or gurus. By serving them, he brought them under control. Krishna was in charge of washing the feet of the devotees. By this, he attracted everyone's heart. The order in reverse, from Krishna to Bhima, indicates the various actions in receiving the guests. As I understand this, he's talking about the chronological actions, right? Let's go back and look at this to see if it holds true. Bhima, Mahanath Adhyakshaha. Yeah, you have to start cooking before the thing even starts, right? So that's first. Dhanadhyaksha, Suyodhana, he's in charge of the treasure. You've got to have money to cook, right? Every temple president knows. And Sahadevas to Pujayam, then when the guests actually arrive, then you have to receive them, no? Yeah, so it's in chronological order, so it would seem. All right, then what else does he say? Vikarna was the brother of Duryodhana, Vikarna. Hardikya refers to Kritavarma. Adayaha, after Vidura means, Adi means etc. So Adaya is plural form. It means, after Vidura means Bhishma, Drona, and so many others. Dushasana was also there. Kritakrita Pragyane, Bhishma, Drona, Mahamati. Bhishma and Drona, great minds who knew what to do and what not to do, were engaged. Therefore, these are the two, it seems, these are mentioned as the managers, is it not? Anyway, so this is what Sanatana Goswami says. The son of Bahlika named Somadatta was there. Somadatta's son was Bhuri. The word Adya means Bhuri Shrava, another son of Somadatta. Putra here included grandsons, although normally the word is Pautra, like we have in Bhagavad Gita. These words are there. But here it's inclusive. Santardana refers to Kekaya, son of Shrutakirti, sister of Kunti. Adayaha indicates his brothers. It's the same word, Adi. Immediately, Tada, actually Tada means then, they engaged in service to please the king. O best of kings, by the greatness of these previous kings, you have become the best of kings. Or, O best of kings, this event was suitable for your grandfather. This is what he's saying, Sanatana Goswami. Jiva Goswami has written Laghu Vaishnava Toshini. Sanatana Goswami's 10th canto commentary is known as Brihad Vaishnava Toshini, the big Vaishnava Toshini. And Jiva Goswami, in his humility, as a junior, he's writing his Laghu Vaishnava Toshini, the little one. It's like we have Brihad Bhagavatamritam, written by whom? And Laghu Bhagavatamritam, written by whom? His younger brother, Rupa Goswami, yes. So this is the etiquette. All right, so he says basically the same things, all the same things. Yeah. The second verse mentioned that friends bound by affection served in various capacities. Since others, well, this is what Krishna is thinking. Since others are too proud to do this, the sacrifice will be faulty without it. This should not happen to my friend. Thus Krishna did this service out of his causeless mercy. Shri Krishna ki jai. Vikarna was the brother of Duryodhana. Hardikya refers to Kritavarma. We've already read this. Sometimes these commentaries, I don't have the Sanskrit in front of me, so I can't really compare them, but sometimes the commentaries are verbatim exactly the same. What does that mean? When Sanatana Goswami says X, and Jiva Goswami repeats X, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur repeats X, they're all saying exactly the same thing. In many cases it's like this. Because the principle is a person should only change what is written by his predecessor if there's a real need, according to the time, place, and circumstance. If something is not clear, we already paraphrased that shloka, which defines the functions of a commentary. So devotees are very careful as a matter of Vaishnava etiquette, that we don't want to appear to be trying to supersede or improve on our predecessors, because that's not the mentality of a disciple or a follower. So generally, we try to be very sparing. If we have to make some comments, we have to just repeat what our predecessors have said, or maybe restate the same in case it's not clear to a contemporary audience. This is another important concern. Contemporary audience. We have to somehow find a way to take these abstract principles that we've heard and make them accessible to the ordinary man on the street. So this is the brilliance of Srila Prabhupada, was able to do this with his Bhaktivedanta purports. I can say in addition to this, I have to observe that, my observation was that the late Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu was also very expert in this. I'll give an example. When I was in college, Dr. Karl Potter, famous Nyayika in Western circles, he was my Sanskrit teacher in the University of Washington, so we took a course in Jiva Goswami's Tattva Sandarbha, and we were trying to translate that. Now, he had very little background in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, so for him it was a challenge. And for the two students in that conference course, it was also a challenge, because Jiva Goswami's not so easy to read as, say, Sridhar Swami or others. So, frankly, I have to admit, I didn't understand a certain passage of the Tattva Sandarbha, and Dr. Potter also could not understand that passage, neither could my colleague, the other student. So, then when the Tattva Sandarbha was translated, I couldn't understand the Sanskrit. I couldn't also understand the translation even, although it was Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu's translation. Only when I read his commentary, then it became clear. This is the point. This is when you have to make a comment, only in such cases. So I don't know why some people, anyway, leave it at that. All right, so, yeah, he's saying all the same things, so I'm not going to continue that commentary. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given only a brief comment. Actually, I looked it up in the Prabhupada's edition of the Bhagavatam commentaries. Couldn't find anything there, but somebody in the folio I'm using says that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur made the brief comment that Krishna engaged himself in washing the feet of these guests because those who had pride would not be able to do so. And we've already discussed that. Okay, so some significant words here. Jishnu. What does Jishnu mean? Jishnu. Huh? Huh? Oh, yeah, Arjuna's name. That's what we've been told that. But what is the actual literal meaning? Jishnu. means somebody who conquers. In exactly the same way, we get from the root, the verbal root is ji, to conquer. Therefore, from ji we get the word jaya, or jita, or jeta, so many different ways to say it. But in the same way, we get this word jishnu, somebody who's conquering. Therefore, when there's a question of pervading the entire cosmic manifestation and beyond, who is the person who does that? Vish means to enter into something. Vish. So therefore Vishnu has the name Vishnu. All pervading. Vasudeva comes from Vas, which is the same thing, means to pervade everything. But Prabhupada does not like that definition of Vasudeva. You'll notice in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. What does Prabhupada make a point of explaining for us with the name Vasudeva? It actually means personal name of the son of Vasudeva, because Krishna, when he comes, he's not so pleased to be appreciated as the all-pervading one. He's more meticulously pleased when he's addressed with reference to his devotees. Vasudeva, his devotee, Vasudeva, rather, is his devotee, therefore he likes to be known as Vasudeva. Even Krishna is so humble, as we see here in this context. He's washing the feet of the guests. Similarly, he's very self-negating, such that his own place, Krishna Loka, what is it we usually refer to Krishna Loka as? Goloka, right. It's named after his cows. Cow world. So this is Krishna's humility. All right, so. Yeah, Jishnu means the person who conquers, just as Vishnu means the one who pervades everything. Now, here we can see in this context, although there's no purport, we've heard already that everyone is engaged either according to his propensity or according to his desire. Those are the two choices you have. You can be engaged according to your swabhava, your propensity. That's also called your swadharma, because there is a set of injunctions that corresponds to every possible swabhava in this world. Everyone has a swabhava. We all have an attitude, good or bad. Attitude is not necessarily a bad thing, but so that's called swabhava, your outlook on life, your worldview maybe even. It's kind of a hard thing to translate swabhava. But corresponding to every swabhava, there is a particular swadharma, and that is the domain of the Dharma Shastra. For this reason, Dharma Shastra is the most voluminous body of knowledge that exists in the Sanskrit language, in Vedic literatures at least. Because, again, Dharma Shastra attempts to take these abstract principles and apply them at ground level for the ordinary pedestrian. And that's not so easy to do. You have to spell everything out very clearly. Therefore, the Dharma Shastra says, when you wake up, you should do this. The way you bathe is that way. The way you eat is another way. The way that you carry on your, mainly eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and their extensions, all of them have extensions. This is Dharma. And it's very difficult to understand. Very, very difficult. Tardako pratishta, shrutayo vibhinna. Na savrishya yasya matam na bhinnam. Argument alone, we know that's inconclusive, because all you have to do is be a very expert, with word juggery or very quick-witted, and you can come up with any convincing argument to convince anyone. So that's not conclusive, actually. And even the Shruti mantras, what to speak of the Smriti? This Dharma Shastra is sometimes called Smriti. Two divisions of Vedic literature, Shruti, Smriti. What's the difference? Shruti ka matlab kya hai? What does Shruti mean? Yeah, what we've heard, literally that's the meaning, but it generally means the four Vedas and their Upanishads. That's all. Some people include Vedanta as well, Vedanta Sutra, because Vyasadeva himself wrote it. That is Shruti. So Bhagavad Gita, technically speaking, is not really Shruti, although it has that status. We call this Prasthana Trayi. Have you heard this? The Vedas and the Vedanta, including Bhagavad Gita. Although Bhagavad Gita is not part of Vedanta, neither is it part of the Shruti. Where is it from? Not Upanishads. Mahabharata. This is epic. Should be Smriti. But it has such a high status because it's Krishna's own words. So that's called Prasthanatrayi. But ordinarily, Shruti is only the Vedas. Unauthored, Apaurushaya we call it. No one wrote the Vedas. With the Smritis, there is an author. What's a more recent Smriti we have? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Rupa Goswami, but it is Smriti. Because it's everything you'll see, he writes in what we call a karika fashion. He gives an argument, and then for each argument, he gives you all the references that prove it. This is the way that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is structured. BBT is coming out with an edition of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu pretty soon, or maybe it's out already, I don't know yet, but yeah, you'll see when you read that there's if you're very conscientious and carefully reading, you'll see that the structure is there. And even to some degree, it's obvious from Srila Prabhupada's summary study, Nectar of Devotion. But yeah, this is an illustration of the principle that Prabhupada also mentions in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, text 15, in his purport, that whenever we're going to say something about spiritual life, we have to be prepared to back it up. Okay, but where does it say that in the Shastras? And people should do this. People don't do this. That's why people become misled. Anybody, if you're not reading Prabhupada's books carefully and every day, anybody can pull the wool over your eyes, as we said already, if they're just good enough with words. Good talker. So, we have to be as deep in these books as Prabhupada desired, and as deep as is required to actually spot something that's not right. And then we have to respectfully inquire, humbly, and render service. Please explain to me, how is this so? And then if the explanation is not adequate, then you don't necessarily have to say that. Depending on your position, you can say something or not, but you don't have to accept it. This is the principle. All right, so how do we get on this topic? Yeah. We're talking about how Dharma Shastra is coordinating your every waking moment, practically speaking, everything from the time you get up in the morning, you wake up, to the time you take rest at night. They're all given in the Smriti Shastras, and especially for the Vaishnavas. What is this predominant Smriti Shastra for devotees? Huh? Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is a Smriti Shastra. Bhagavad, you can say it's also Smriti, but it's not Smriti in the same sense. See the problem with Sanskrit? Smriti means anything that is not Apaurushaya, but it also specifically means ritual activity, karma, karma kanda, or dharma also. So karma and dharma are synonymous. Why is that? Why are karma and dharma synonymous? Because if it's not dharma, it's not karma either. It's vikarma, sinful activity. Technically speaking, karma, in a broadest sense, karma means any activity, but technically speaking, karma really only means punya karma, pious activity. That's given in the Shastras. So there are three things we hear from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. The karma, akarma, ya pashyed, right? We can see karma in inaction. We can see inaction in karma. Karma, akarma, vikarma. These things we have to clearly understand. Because unless we understand these things, how do we know what to do? They're all dealing with karma, action, and everybody has to act. Sharira yatrapi shanena na prasiddhita karmanaha. Inactive, you cannot even maintain yourself in this world. You have to act. Everybody knows this verse, especially Indians. They all know this verse, which is the favorite verse every Indian will quote Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phale heturabhurma te sangostu karmani. What does it mean? Karmanyevadhikaraste. Your only prerogative is work. Karma. That's it. You can't do anything else. He doesn't say vikarma. He says karma. And what else? Yeah. Ma phaleshu kadachana, but you cannot have the fruits of your work. Okay, it's becoming less appealing, isn't it? Ma karma phale hetur bhuhu. You cannot even consider yourself to be the cause of those fruits. And what does that mean? It means you can't take pride in what you're doing either. And finally, the coup de grace. Ma te sango swakarmani, and you cannot not work. I was talking with one professor, I think it was Aravinda Sharma, or maybe it was Raghunath Sharma, some Sharma. He was in University of Hawaii. And I had some questions that I wanted to ask him about the Upanishads. He wasn't interested in that. He said, no, just understand this. And he quoted this verse, he explained it as I just did. And then he said, how are you going to convince the man on the street to do this? There's a word for this in English. One word begins with S. What is that word? Slavery. Yes. You have to work. You can't, you get nothing for your work. You can't be proud of your work, and you can't stop working. It's slavery. Therefore, we all have the name Datta, because we're slaves. We're slaves of God. This is the idea. Oh, is it time already? Oh, Krishna, sorry. I was not even halfway done. Anyway, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. I'm used to speaking for an hour or so.
Short.
Yeah.
You got longer time tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody has any questions, you can ask me in private.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvan
Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kanha Gokula Ranjana Kanha Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadhana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damana Vidhan Kaliya Damana Vidhan Amala Harinam Ami Avilash Amala Harinam Ami Avilash Jai Jai Vipina Purandara Navina Nagaragara Vipina Purandara Navina Nagaragara Vanshi Vadana Suvasa Braja Jana Parana Surakula Nashana Braja Jana Parana Asurakula Nashana Braja Jana Parana Asurakula Nashana Nanda Godhana Rakhovala Nanda Godhana Rakhovala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Sundarananda Gopala Jamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Rasa Rasika Kripamai Rasa Rasika Kripamai Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinodashai Bhakti Vinodashai Yashomati Nandana Prajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kan Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Gokulananda, Radha Golokanda Radhe. Jai Radha Golokanda, Radha Golokanda Radhe. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Gaur Premanande. Jai Amrishpad Paramahamsa Prajagacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaijanarana Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Jai. Gaur Hari Bol.
Known by the nickname Kana, the wealth of the lives of the gopis, the attractor of Cupid, and punisher of the serpent Kaliya. These pure holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Lord of the 12 forests of Braj, ever youthful, the best of lovers, player of the flute, and excellent dresser, protector of the inhabitants of Braj, destroyer of demoniac dynasties, keeper and tender of Nanda's cows, giver of pleasure to cows, land, and spiritual senses, husband of the goddess of fortune, butter thief, and beautiful little cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj, wanderer of the Yamuna riverbanks, thief of the garments of the gopis, enjoyer of the mellows of the rasa dance, very merciful, lover and beloved of Sri Radha, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the only shelter of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Thank you very much to Mukunda Prabhu for giving nice class today, and tomorrow is Sadhana Plus Plus, and he'll be giving a longer class because we'll have the class beginning sometime around 8:15 or something, and the class will run longer. And tomorrow, I know it's a busy day, but tomorrow afternoon between 5 and 7 in Durham at 5 Points, we'll be having Harinam Sankirtan. Please come. It's going to be hot, but it's summertime. What can you do? Chaitodharpanam marjanam bhava mahadavagni navapanam shreya kairavya chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam vivaranam pratipadam pranamrita swadanam sarvatmasnapanam param marigold heaven. Thank you. Namakari Bhavada Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etad Vakriba Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinada Pisuni Chena Tarora Pisuhishuna Amani Namana Dana Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Manastumam Adarshanam Marmahatakarotiva Yatatatava Viradatulam Pato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so important that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I fall into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, may my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name. When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Shastastika Ki Jai. Thank you, Sundari Radha, for dressing Sri Sri Radha Golokananda so